Greetings and thank you for joining us again on another episode of Supporting School Leaders. A lot of charter school leaders have asked me to help define what is a charter school. And if you're a parent who's looking at enrolling your child in a different school, there's been a lot of misinformation put out by opponents to charter schools about what they actually are. Over time, since the first charters began around 91, 92, a lot of evolution has happened and different requirements and legislation have sort of narrowed some of our current definitions. So let's get into it. What is a charter school? A charter is really just a contract to be a public agency. So your fire department locally has a charter. Your city that you live in is probably chartered with the state. Your police department or utility company might also have a charter. So the idea of a charter is really nothing new. It's just a contract that is approved by someone to create a public agency. Charters are not private. Some of them can be run by private corporations, although in the state of California, for example, it's illegal to have a privately run charter school, meaning there are no returns to investors or shareholders of private companies. However, they can be nonprofits or 501c3s, public benefit corporations, things like that. If you look at what a charter actually says, it's the contract that the entity is making with its authorizer. So traditionally, charters are organized by parents, by teachers, by charter management organizations. They can also be organized in some settings by existing government institutions. For example, there are a number of dual enrollment high school charters where they might be chartered through a university or through a community college. In some states, they have charters that are chartered through on appeal. So maybe you tried to get your charter locally, it didn't work out, and then you went to your county or went to your state on appeal from your local district. So comparing it to traditional education that we're all used to, traditional schools are based on a geographic area and they're based on the power of taxation. So taxes are generated through levies on property taxes, for example, and then given over to your local educational district. Also, if you're building a new residence, you may have to pay builder's fees to your local school district. Charters do not receive funding in that way. Often charters are either funded from the state and receive direct state funding, or there's an agreement to transfer payments based on enrollment from district schools. Now, what is actually in a charter? A charter has some things it has to specify, and if you're applying to a charter school, chances are that charter is on the website. The charter has to specify how students get into the school, how success will be measured, what the educational philosophy of the school is, where it will be located physically. A charter also has to explain what will happen if the charter doesn't make it, if the charter has to shut down. It should outline the governance structure, how parents get involved. It should have non-discrimination clauses. It should have a set of policies that the school is going to follow. It should have a proposed budget or a prepared fiscal plan. And then it should also outline officers and roles, organizational charts. So again, you think about, the original charters were, some of them were, 10 or 11 pages that were just simple agreements with the contract to operate a school. And now it's not uncommon for a school charter to be 150 pages with 600, 700 pages of attachment documents along with it. So basically what the charter says is that an entity will be created that will receive public funds and become a public agency itself. And it will be held accountable to a standard that is set by its authorizing district or the state. And if that accountability measure is not in place, then it outlines what happens next, which could be, most dramatically, a revocation of the charter. So one reason why these schools have popped up and have been successful all over the country is because generally charters are unique and they have a specific identity, and it's something that's different than your neighborhood school. It doesn't receive as much funding often because it doesn't have that tax base, that property tax assessment on your house or retained building fees. So it has to pay for facilities out of its operating budget. A lot of times the faculties at charter schools tend not to come in as unionized faculty. Hence the teachers associations and some unions have been anti-charter because it's not a place where they've been very successful in garnering membership. If you look at the outcomes, charters basically outline what they consider to be successful for them. So while many of them have to reach the same state assessments that are required of traditional schools, that may not be their definition of success. Their definition of success may also be students who are independent thinkers, students who can do project management, students who are able to be the first in their family to attend college, who can speak foreign languages, who can perform on instruments. Whatever that charter outlines as a success model, there will be formative assessments to show that they're making progress and are accountable first and foremost to their own definition of success. So what you want to do when you're looking at a school, whether you're going to lead it or enroll your child in it, is ask yourself, well, what does this school consider to be a successful student, and is that the kind of student I want my child to grow into? Because charters offer choice to families, that means parents have a situation where education funding follows the enrollment of their child. There are many places throughout the country, I know California counties, where there are dozens and dozens of charter schools that are within driving distance from a given family in many populous counties. And even in small rural areas, kids might have 6 or 7 choices. There might be a Waldorf school, a Montessori school, an independent study school, a college preparatory, international baccalaureate, performing arts charter. And you may have the chance to decide which one you want to enroll your child in and then have public funding come in. Now, it's important to know that charters are full of involved parents, and those involved parents often do fundraise to supplement the program that's funded by public dollars. Although politically charters have been kind of a hot potato and at times have been favored by different political parties or interest groups, what you can be sure of is that the movement will continue to grow and there'll be many more different kinds of charters over time. So thanks for watching this little video about what a charter school is, really just a contract and a definition of success and accountability. I hope you can make an informed decision. If you're interested in more topics about supporting school leaders and education, you can subscribe to this channel. And I'm Caleb Buckley. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.